Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Late Afternoon Glass Off podcast, otherwise known as Largo podcast. Joining me, as always, Finley. How are you, mate?
Zach, I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's the way. We're going to plug socials before we do anything else because we always fucking forget. So if you are new here, just go onto Instagram or Facebook, fucking Vine or anything like that. What are we on?
We're on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, like. TikTok, Instagram, at the Largo podcast. Follow, comment.
Report to China.
We're on Gmail.
We're on
Send us an
Farmville, My Aquarium. We're on everything. So what we're trying to say is we're on all your podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple.
That's the main
Music.
one on your podcasting platform. Just shoot us a follow. It'll give you updates when we post, which is handy, I guess, for everyone.
It should be every Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, depending on how punctual we are. But
it's dependent on how events finish though and start. Like we're trying our best to be. It's Wednesday or Thursday. We are keeping you guessing a little bit, but we're going to try and keep it to those 2 days because it seems to work that the events start on like a Friday or a Saturday. So
yeah,
we can get
feel like they go for fucking ever.
Yeah, they do.
But anywho, that's our social plug.
Correct.
What's been going on?
Mate, not a lot. I've been on the tools in the shop. For Lennox Head being as quiet as it is, my girlfriend's brother, Kai, he came home the other day and reported that he saw Mikey February getting out of his car at the pub in Lennox.
For our viewers, are you talking about the place where you drink piss or
both?
Surf?
There's an iconic wave, but it's also a place where you go to drink beers. And I kind of put him down as a bit of a conspiracist on that. I didn't think that was real. And then I was at work and he came in and bought some things off me. So, Kai, I'm sorry. And Vans sort your shit out because he was asking for Vans board shorts, which he obviously didn't have. And was trying to buy some. So sort your boy out. So Zach, yeah, you had a pretty busy weekend down at Bell's, a long weekend, or long week, I should say. What happened in the back half? Obviously, we sort of caught up halfway through the event on our last episode. What went on? And it's probably the fun stage of the event. You're going to finals, you get into the after party. How was it?
Yeah, I'm still washing off a bit of a hangover from Monday night.
Yeah.
Monday night. When the event finished. Yeah, a bit of a ruckus at Jan Juck Pub. That's kind of like a staple event that happens after every year.
An event within the event.
And then also Bird Rock Cafe host a bit of a thing. So yeah, we everyone from the event, whether you're official staff or surfers or groupies, there was plenty of groupies there, all flocked to that and drink copious amounts of alcohol. So I partaked in that. I'm glad I kind of peeled out early around the midnight-ish.
Yep.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
It doesn't.
And I even woke up going, so I'm glad I peeled out there.
Bit of cotton mouth in the morning.
Yeah, there would have been a few people that were definitely reaching for the glass of water at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Right.
Wasn't me though. So I was right on that cusp where shit gets fucked. And then if you keep drinking, it gets real bad.
Correct. Yeah, no, good job to you for getting out of there early. Traveling home, any sort of troubles with getting your stuff together after the event or?
Well, yeah, we were okay. We had a flight at about 11:30, but I did catch up with Luana after she got runner-up, obviously. And I was like, fuck, let's throw a big party. And she's like, I've got an 8 a.m. flight. And that's from Melbourne, not from Avalon.
Right.
So it's an hour and 50-minute drive. Check-in closes half an hour before. She's like, I'm up at 4. And I was like, that's fucked. Like, you win, or you don't win the event, but you get runner-up and you get all this fucking prize money. The first thing you want to do is rip the lid off it. But she was like, I can't. So
in Luana's sort of defense there, or you might say, is it like... That's her first final. Like, there's every chance she wasn't plotting on maybe being there on finals day as much as you want to back yourself when you're on that stage. She's probably just going, yeah, well, the event finishes here. Probably probably not going to be in the final, so we'll just dip then. But
Well, most people don't book a return flight.
right,
They book accommodation and car.
Yeah.
Because you're fucked if you run out of those before.
yeah,
And this is evident because I was looking at flights home and they were around the $300 mark or something
Right.
like that. And then right as the event finished and everyone knew, all right, well, we're out of here and whatnot. I was on the last day. Oh, fuck, Qantas went to like $500.
Yeah.
And I was like, so everyone's doing the same thing. And at the after party, everyone's like, what flight are you on? And you could tell like when people got in early, they got like the midday ones.
yeah.
And then those people like, I'm at fucking like 7 p.m. And you're like, that's going to suck. So yeah, we got pretty lucky on the flight as well as checking in. I had to bring home some surfboards for Connor. There was 3 boards and I had a bunch of shit already as well that we had to take down for like a bit of promo and marketing stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon I had 55 kilos worth of stuff. And on Jetstar, you can only book 40 kilos of like baggage to turn up with.
Yeah.
You can obviously take more, but they're just going to sting you. And the board bag would have weighed about 30 kilos. And Mikey's board bag would have weighed about 30 kilos. And Connor flew out a couple of days previous and said, holy fuck, they fisted me with excess baggage. $500 worth on top of the ticket.
Yeah.
And he
right.
said to him, like, and he was in a bit of a shitty mood because he obviously just got knocked and he went straight to the airport. And he's like, mate, I'm trying to fucking buy as much as I can online. I'm actually trying to buy. If I could buy 100, I would buy 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got done for $500 and me and Mikey were bracing for that.
Yeah.
And the chick literally asked us, how much does your boards weigh? And we're like, I don't know, about 25. And she's like, okay, cool, just take them over there.
Sick.
Straight through.
Beautiful. Yeah, nothing really apart from that. I mean, you've just come home. Like I said, you're nursing a bit of a hangover. We've had a little bit of weirdness go on since you've been back. We had a bit of a shark attack.
Yeah, well, as well as away. We've had such a good run without any of these kind of occurrences. And although this one wasn't as bad as previous ones, still goes on the tally. So pretty surprised, but not surprised at the same time.
Sure.
You've been around. The water's fucking pretty dirty and horrendous.
Yeah, I haven't spent probably been a month. Yeah, I'd say a month or close to it where you haven't been able to see your toes under the water. And there's been sharks swimming around with us out there like regularly.
100%.
I've seen them, they're only little baby ones, but they're there, and there's probably some big mummy ones getting around too.
If you go for a walk out Northwall right now, it's almost getting dark and the water's shitty. You're going to see a bull shark jump. Yeah. They're everywhere. And they breed in brackish water.
Yeah.
So they're loving it. But yeah, so we actually had a shark attack, which sucks. The guy was swimming with a GoPro taking photos of someone surfing and got bitten on the leg. Yeah. I don't think it's too bad. Stitches, obviously, but nothing life-threatening or anything too serious that he can't recover from. And we also had another one. Someone was saying, I'm not sure if this is even true, but I'm fairly confident it happened.
Great.
Someone broke their neck at Sharps Beach. On a soft top surfboard, and just jumped off and just hit the bottom. So
hopefully it's
for
not
a sleepy
true.
Town, lots of shit going on.
Bit going on, yeah. Well, thoughts go out to both those people. Hopefully the latter isn't true. Hopefully that's a pretty serious one. Moving swiftly on into Surfers of the Week. Zach, obviously you've just been sort of mingling with the best in the world for the last week or so. Who caught your eye and who's your Surfer of the Week?
Ethan Ewing. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty confident that he's the best surfer in the world right now. Just the way he obviously didn't win the event. Everyone thought he was going to win the event when he was surfing those first couple rounds.
Yeah.
He obviously had Ryan up relatively first, and then Connor, and then Kanoa. Mm-hmm. And fuck, he just looked untouchable. It just looks like, we've said this before, he looks glued to his surfboard.
Yeah.
And he's just pushing. Like, it's not safe kind of surfing and like nice surfing. It's like aggravated, stylish meets powerful. I don't fucking know. Yeah. It's a concoction that works. And he just looked untouchable. He looks so confident, looks really strong. Obviously had a bit of a hiccup in the Kanoa heat.
Yep.
But I don't think that was a true reflection of how well he was surfing. And funnily enough, his warm-up surfs were at fucking Jan Juck.
Yeah, true. He wanted to get away from the crowd. He'd be he'd have every confidence in himself that he can get a big Bell's wall and rip it to pieces.
Yeah.
So he just needs to feel his boards out, I guess, put his feet in the wax. And
He's pretty much just keeping warm.
yeah.
But hey, Jan Jack out of all places, you can go surf, Boobs, Winky,
yeah.
Bird Rock, but he went to fucking Jan Jack. Pretty crazy.
I just like the overall just steez of the man to like get a wave. Like he came up against our good mate Connor and pretty well put together the best Bells performance in memory, maybe ever.
Yep.
And just like the guile to get a wave, do 3 turns out the back and go, yeah, that's enough, 9.4, and just kick out. Like didn't even chase the
I actually
inside.
back that. I see very little value in all. If you got a highlight reel of all the last turns, there's about 5 where you go, okay,
Yeah.
that turn can alter a score.
Yeah.
9 times out of fucking 10, the judges have hovering their finger over the score, ready to press fucking submit when they've finished the bowl.
Yeah. I agree.
I think, in my opinion, judges should just start kind of saying, hey, look, thanks for riding it to the fucking shore and getting sand in your wetsuit and snapping all your fins out. But turns out that little foam climb thing was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I see little value. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. It's like it became very wave pool like where everyone had their runs and it was like if you do your 3 turns in the bowl, you can like hop to the inside, do your little foam climb. Sometimes there was a more substantial section that guys could hit and maybe it did juice the score a little bit. But yeah, like it seemed like they were really rewarding bigger turns out the back, which makes sense. I think that's a lot of the time they do that anyway. But it's like just a proper like visual recipe for success there. And it's if you can fit 3 turns and out the back, you're getting a 7.
I think it's just any turns of consequence out the
Yeah.
back. They need to be big.
Yeah.
They need to look amazing. And then whatever happens on the inside is a bit of a, the
It's just
frosting on the cake.
It's just optics, I think. Like you finish your wave on your feet on the shoreline and the judges go, okay, he's completed his ride.
Yeah, I get it. It's just the time between the bowl and the shorey. It's too long. If it was not half a second, but a couple of seconds shorter, it would flow a little nicer.
Yeah.
But some waves, there's just too much daylight between, the last turn on the bowl and the last turn.
Yeah.
And it starts to kind of diminish what happened out the back. So, I think get rid of it.
Yeah, I completely, and like there is that merit there that sure you want to finish your wave on your feet. We've got little rodent running around,
Little dog trying to get in the potty room. But I think I just don't see the value in it.
Well, yeah, like Ethan, I think it's the judging scale as well is funny because it's not all linear. Where like say if someone took off on the shorey and did a turn, it might get a 1-1 or a 1-5. But like, say Ethan hops through from his 9.4 and finish it off, he's not getting a 10. If that makes sense, they're not going to give him 0.6 just because he did that last turn. Like he might get maybe a 0.2 more, but it's like it's not linear in that fashion. So I mean, he belted that thing so hard they had to give him an excellent score. So good on him. He just went, yeah, I'm done. Poor old Connor sat out the back. Couldn't have really done it. He didn't make any mistakes in that heat. Like he did nothing wrong.
He did, unfortunately.
What do you reckon?
So previous to that heat, he was telling himself, I'm going the second wave of the set.
Yeah.
I'm going the second wave of the set. Like religiously over and over and over. And that was just the conversation throughout the day. Connor went the first wave of the set. Given his defense, the first one looked nice.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, fuck, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we were sitting there on the stairs and we we're like, is this going to be the first set where the second wave is shit?
Yes.
And it just happens to be in this heat.
Yeah.
And it turns out, no, there was a second wave. It was just kind of hiding behind the first one. So he was really upset because he was saying, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then kind of got teased into the first wave.
Yeah,
and from there, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, you saw it happen time and time throughout that event where the person who went the first wave of the set just find themselves out of rhythm and with priority and score wise as well. Like the guy in the second wave was consistently getting the better score. I think in that heat, like it was going to be tough for Connor regardless. There's such a disparity there in natural versus goofy, and you've got pretty well like Connor's pretty well the best goofy on terms of backhand on tour. Ethan is, I'd say, the best natural footer in terms of turns. So like you got a really good comparison there. But the wave that Ethan got his 9.4 on, Connor wouldn't have been able to extract that same score. Like the turns that he was doing, you can't draw him out that hard on your backhand. Whereas on your forehand, Ethan was really pulling him all the way down to the bottom of the wave and going again. Connor would have been forced to just sort of square up a few times, and it just doesn't have the same impact as some of the turns that Ethan was doing.
Yes and no. I see both sides. There's merit to what you're saying. Obviously, Connor's not going to do the same turn on his backhand. That would be suicide. You would never get the same score on your backhand. You just can't open your shoulders up the same way and drive through it.
Yeah.
But Connor does 3 tags that are right next to the pocket, which a natural footer probably can't do out there because it is such a kind of carve-focused wave.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be a big score, which was evident in Connor's previous heats.
And he got an excellent range score on that heat. He got a high 8 or something, didn't he? An 8.7 or whatever it was. So it shows that obviously you can get good scores out there on your backhand. But I just saw a lot where natural footers were able to draw their turns out a lot more. And on your backhand, you can't get that same amount of leverage as much as you want. Like it just isn't possible. You can't put your body in the same movement as you can on your forehand. So it just doesn't equate to, like, you're almost looking for 2 different waves out there, I feel. But
100%. And just quickly on that, when I was obviously staying with the lads and we were watching like the recaps every night on YouTube, like just kind of breaking down the day. And it was funny. They would often say, fuck, that looked like a hard wave to surf on your backhand.
Yeah.
So like what they were looking for is like where the wave's breaking for the, like, right in the pocket, how much pocket is there to really work with? And a lot of the time there's not much. And that's why natural footers result to that carve.
Yes. Yep.
Whereas on your backhand, you can't result to a carve. On your first turn, in my opinion, you can't just go to a carve. It's going to be nothing more than a 6. Unless you do, obviously, something fucked up afterwards. It needs to be that square off the bottom, square off the top combination. And then if you happen to do a carve after that, you're going to get a good score.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just a tricky wave to surf on your backhand, I reckon.
For sure. And, like, to your point there, is Ethan the best surfer in the world? Yes, I think he is. But I've got a bit of devil's advocate here to play. I'm going to go and say that Jack Robinson is the world's most well-rounded surfer. And if you asked me that a few years ago, I'd say absolutely not. But it's gotten to the point now where he's winning in venues that I would never expect him to win at. Like you asked me a few years ago, do you think Jack Robinson's capable of winning a belt? There's no chance. He just didn't have the type of surfing that, in my head, you can put together to win a belt. You see the guys over the years that have won, Mick, Kelly, Joel, they've all got multiple belts, and they're all a very similar, obviously, like, head and shoulders above everyone else, really, I guess, in terms of talent, but like their speed, power flow perfectly matched the judging criteria. And sort of Jack, he never really had that. And it's come out now that he has rung the bell. He's now a champion there. And I think that's his 8th CT victory, which is insane. He hasn't been on tour for long, and he's won 8 events. Like, there's guys that go their whole career without winning one, and he's on number 8. So
I think what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
He's developing into a very, very well-rounded surfer. Perhaps one of the most. I wouldn't go as far as saying the most, but I would say he's definitely in that conversation around well-rounded surfers. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot. Everyone's kind of got their like go-to.
Yeah.
So to be in that mix is a great feat in itself.
Yeah. He's sort of now in that sort of, like, compare the two, Ethan Ilk, where like you pretty much, you can't write him off at any venue now, because I almost haven't selected Jack in any of my fantasy teams since Pipe, I think, and admittedly hasn't gone amazingly in any events since, but like he's stacking results at hollow left-handers, which we all know he can surf in. He's won Margies, which, like, yes, at the box you'd expect it, but like main break is probably not really a venue where you think he's going to win. Now he's done it at Bells. He did it in Mexico on a long right-hand point. Like, he's starting to put these victories in spots where you're like, geez, okay, maybe he is just the complete package. So something to think about anyway. I still think Ethan's got the wood on him for sure, but like there's an argument to be made there. Yep. My surfer of the week is the ladies champion, Izzy Nichols. And I'm not going to say it was necessarily her surfing per se that got her this sort of
Well, it wasn't fucking
recognition.
basketball, was it?
No, but like her performance throughout the event wasn't necessarily what got her this sort of recognition, but it was more just, it was really refreshing and good to just see a game plan come together and work so perfectly. And you can, like me sitting on the couch at home, never doing any event like sort of near where these guys are at, but like I was able to come to the conclusion that you want to be on the second wave of the set, like very, very easily.
Plain and simple.
You could see it. No one was challenging her for the second wave of the set. Like she obviously with her coach just gone, all right, let's go out there, wait for the first solid wave to come through, let it go and go the one after it. She did it every single heat. She finished on her feet at the end. And once she got past Gabby Bryan, it's like, I don't think there's anyone that can really beat her now.
Yeah, you're right in saying that. And it's funny, it's such a simple recipe to follow.
Yeah.
Yet so many people didn't.
It was like doing my head in. Like I was just going, how can you not be seeing this? And like, I'm sure they were. And I'm sure when you're out there and you see a 6-footer roll in and it's the first wave, you're just going, oh, I can get a score on this. But it just happened time and time again where you'd see him take the first wave, it'd go fat after 1 or 2 turns, and then the person behind would just have this perfectly clean wall and they'd go to town on it, finish on the beach, and it's a high score. Like, I don't know, I just really thought that Izzy perfectly enacted that all event, and she got to the final, and credit to Luana for getting there. Like, really good knock from her first final, but she was never a chance in that. I didn't think. Like, it was just Izzy from the get-go, and she did it again.
I disagree. I think Luana definitely could have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe could have been on some better waves,
Mm-hmm.
but I think could have been a fight for the title there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's clear as day that whoever was on the second wave periodically throughout that event was going to win the heats. There's more to it. Obviously, priority plays a big fact, and actually think about not the priority you have now, but the priority you will have later.
Yep.
Also, a thing to touch on here with priority was jet skis have to give way. It doesn't matter who was actually on the back of the sleds first. Whoever was on the first wave would primarily get the priority back.
I was wondering that.
So there was a few scenarios where people were probably like, hang on, that person's further in on the beach pretty much, but the person on the second wave finished short of the beach.
Yeah.
Unless it's like there's daylight between it, the ski driver will often nod to the other ski driver and say, you're going first, I'm going behind you.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to do it as well. It's not like...
I guess so.
Well, because you don't want to like finish your wave and then you see the person who was like, I don't know, you're paddling back out, the person jumps off the ski on the way behind, gets a better score than you, and then gets prior. It's like, it's a bit of a shocker. So I think it's good that they did that.
One thing what was funny about the jet skis though was obviously the path that they had to take to minimise wash was very wide and very far out to sea. Props to them for doing that. We should do it at Kira. But what that meant was a long ass fucking paddle back to the takeoff spot. So what we saw towards the end of the event was people jumping off at like Mach 4 to get slingshotted right through.
Yeah.
There was one with, I think it was Betty and Tyler.
I saw that.
And she was just cruising like, yeah, I'm off the ski first, no worries. And fucking Tyler jumped off the thing doing about 50 k's an hour and just went shoom.
Straight past it. I did see that bit.
So that was pretty funny to watch. I was kind of waiting for a highlight reel for someone just getting smoked, but it didn't happen.
Scorpion themselves off the ski.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like you did note here, Lulu, lulls in sets, not Lulu causing upsets all event. But I mean, Lulu did cause upsets all event.
She did.
She found her way to the final.
Yep.
Said it before, her best result to date, and one that she really needed because she was pretty far down the rankings.
She's still unfortunately under the cut.
Yes, but that goes a long way to helping her get back up, second place.
She just needs to go at one spot and then she's all clear.
Yeah, for sure.
Head above water.
But yeah, your actual note, lulls.
Yes, it was the fucking discussion of the event, and in some cases the best surfer doesn't win, and it's Mother Nature. And the fucking hardest thing about being a surfer and competitive is you have to swallow that big disgusting pill that you did everything right, you just got dealt a bad hand.
Yep, for sure.
The amount of times that people were staring at the horizon going, I need an achievable score, a 6, a 5, a 7. and the clock just ran out. And these heats were 35, 40 minutes. 30 to 35 to 40 minutes, depending on what heats. There was a lot of time there, more than other locations. And often we saw 2 sets, 3 sets. Which Xavier Huxtable talks about in our little phone catch-up that we'll get to shortly. He just kind of, didn't really get an opportunity. Yeah,
and it's a good segue into, we'll get into our standouts and disappointments. My first one is Morgs. Like, credit to him. Huge event from him. Massive Bells campaign. Put in a very veteran-like performance the whole way through the event. Never looked too challenged by anyone. In a lot of cases, actually, he looked more comfortable than the people that were actually on tour.
Well, this is the exact reason, that I threw him in my fantasy.
Yeah.
It come up wildcard. He wasn't a fucking wildcard.
No.
He's been there before. He's been at the final 5. I kind of had this thought that he would have this feeling of no pressure, but all the fucking experience in the world ready to go.
Yep. And look, he did exactly that. And it pretty much was those lulls that brought him undone. Like he went out with the game plan that everyone, I guess, had, which was what we touched on before, make sure you're on a set, make sure you're on the second one. He went out there, Kanoa just sort of started surfing underneath him, turned in a couple of small scores. He actually looked pretty bad to start that heat. Kanoa had a few falls, but just got himself into a rhythm where he was able to get a couple of numbers on the board. And then when Morgs eventually took off, he didn't have enough time to get that second score. So
he actually fell as well.
He did fall.
That wave wasn't a promising 6 or something what he needed, but he did fall.
He did. He got an opportunity right at the end of the heat and did do it. It didn't look like the score, to be fair, on the computer anyway.
Yeah, he would have had to have fucking manufactured a 4-point ride into a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, for sure. But Morgs walks away with a 3rd place, $25,000 US.
Ka-ching, brother. Bank. That's like $4 million fucking because of Trump.
Yep. Yes. And a heap of confidence moving into the Challenger Series. So we'd really love to see Morgs get back on. I think this is his year to do it. Who was your standout? I mean, we just touched on him, but go for it.
Yeah, it was Ethan.
Yeah.
I've just never seen surfing like that where it felt like he could put 110% into a turn, and some people do that and it looks a bit shaky.
Yeah.
It just looked like he was glued to his board. He could push as hard as he wanted to. He could do anything he wanted to. He just looked unstoppable.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. There's not really much to add. If you're unsure of what I'm talking about, just go back and watch the highlights. It just looked like he was the man to beat. Unfortunately, just had a hiccup in the Kanoa heat. He had a fall.
Yeah.
He did get an opportunity. It was a big wave, and he had this really big turn, and he uncharacteristically nosedived. So he was pretty upset with that.
Yeah.
Because he did. Although he ran out of time at the end to fight back, there was an opportunity there.
That turn would be giving him a bit of grief. Hey, was that the Larry that he did? The sort of sliding.
I think it was no.
I don't think
it was a Larry. It was like just a big belt and he nosedived.
Yeah, we did that same turn in El Salvador to the same result. No, he got an opportunity at the end of the heat, did the same turn, because I remember watching it. I did have a multi on, and I didn't on the Bells event. I did on El Salvador, and he fell on that turn, and I was like, that really just stuck in my mind. So that would be giving him a bit of grief. Hopefully, he can sort that out. And I do just want to give a bit of we're trying to just go one standout each, but I just want to chuck Kanoa in there. Finals appearance for him at Bells, huge result. He's not on the level of Ethan or like even Jack for that matter. He's sort of maybe that rung below, but his confidence in himself is so sky high. And like he said in his interview the day before, like they're like, "Oh, you've got Ethan tomorrow. Like, what do you think?" And he was like, "I'm excited for that." And it's like, it's one thing to say it, but then to actually say it and do it. And he went out and just basically took it to Ethan, made Ethan make mistakes, which that's really the only way you can beat these guys. Put up your best performance and make sure that you do everything you can, and then you're pretty much just relying on them to succumb to the pressure, which essentially Ethan did. And Kanoa finds himself in his first final of the year, so credit to him.
I have to disagree. I thought he had moments of brilliance.
Yeah.
In the opening rounds at Winky, he looked really, really good. He was almost doing board slides, like it was small winky.
Yeah.
And he'd go over a section and with the fins out and like almost like a snowboarding, skateboarding trick. And he looked so like silky smooth and linky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was a few heats and Ethan's heats won. I felt like it was Ethan's to win.
Yeah.
It felt like there was I forget who it was. It was with another heat. He just looked a little bit like, oh fuck.
That's more what I'm saying though. Like I don't think he surfs better than Ethan, but he just did enough in that heat to get past him, and he backed himself.
Yeah, just the fact that he was a standout, I wouldn't have said that.
We made the final.
I know, but he didn't stand out getting to the final, in my opinion.
You can jam it, mate, because he's my standout. So
I will get this mic and put it up my bum. Stay tuned for visuals.
We'll get to disappointments now. So, and I think it's unfair to call these people disappointments because in every case, actually, I'm not even going to say almost all cases, in every case, I went back through the results and your early round knockouts, and in every case, it wasn't necessarily the person surfing. It was more the ocean. So, I think it's a bit unfair to say they're a disappointment. I think we've both had the same here for a lady example of this, Caroline Marks.
Yep.
She probably was someone that wasn't surfing to their normal level. And I think, like we touched on her last week, she just scraped through the elimination round heat into the round of 16 on the ladies, and she didn't progress out of that heat in the end. She got knocked. And she didn't look amazing. So I think she's probably the only one where you go, oh, like that was probably her surfing that did this. But in saying that, like it's slow. So you can't be too critical. The other one really was Italo. After getting my surfer of the week last week, he got knocked out by the man that we chat to later on, Xavier. And it's really nothing to worry about because he's still far in front of the leaderboard, but it's just worth noting he did lose early for pretty much the first time this year. So I
was pretty stoked with that waxing.
Yes, for sure. It was good to see.
But yeah, we spoke about it last week with Caroline, so nothing to really touch on there. But yeah, going into that event, I just had this inkling that she would put on a performance, and it just didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, no, we'll leave that there because again, it's almost unfair to say they're disappointing because no one actually really surfed bad. It was just the ocean let them down. So we'll cull it there. We'll move into the current rankings as it stands, moving past Bells. So kind of got the top 8 here. We've got Italo in first, Ethan in second, Jack moving up 6 spots into third, so he's now entrenched himself.
That's
in
a big jump.
It's a huge jump.
That's a really big jump, and
it's a very promising looking Australian world title winner for this year at Fiji. If he can maintain his spot there, so fingers crossed he can. Basically, 4th place Yago Dora still doing the thing. He's still in there. Geordie Smith in 5th. Kanoa moves up 4 spots into 6th, so he's sort of starting to challenge, although the gap between 5th and 6th is about bit over 2,000 points, so he's a bit of ground to make up there. Barron in 7th and Leo in 8th. Yep. So, and look, you do beyond 8th, the gap, it seems like the people that are winning or like doing really well in these events this year are all the same sort of people who keep popping up. So a lot of the points are up the top sort of 8 people in the rankings, and then beyond that, it gets kind of a bit...
It's kind of a free-for-all at the bottom.
Yeah, bit of a
Someone
frenzy.
snags one good result, they're just going to skyrocket themselves up into the rankings.
Absolutely. But yeah, good to see Robbo get his way up into there. And then we'll go to the other end of the scale. So these are the people that are just in front of the cut or beyond the cut. 20th place, George Pittar. 21st, Jackson Bunch. 22nd, Al Cleland. So they're just inside. They're hanging in there. And then you go outside, 23rd, Jow, 24th, Lob, 25th, Crosby, 26th, Ian Gavea. So they're
notable mention, Crosby did lose an event.
Crosby lost
Ryan.
a couple of events.
Yeah.
So that to be where he is, that's a really good sign for him. And he'll be looking to push further up. Those are the guys that I reckon you could probably throw Sammy Pupo down in at 27th in the mix there. Those are the guys that I think are going to be challenging for those last few spots.
Yep.
Beyond that, so we'll just run through them. Alejo Muniz, Ian Gentile, Ramsey Bookham, who won't be surfing again this season, I don't believe.
Ever again.
Maybe ever again. David Silva, Ryan Callanan, Imai, Kalani DeVault, and Edgar Gurgia. Now, I think you can put a line through all of those guys. I think they're done.
They're just so far down.
They're so far behind.
And a few of those guys, I actually turned a page and saw a new perspective of Emai down there. He fucking rips, bro. He just can't put it together.
Yeah.
It's like when the Hooter starts and finishes, it's a different Emai.
Yep.
And then you watch him in the free surfs and the warm-ups, and it's like he can put together a free surf apart.
Yes.
And then it just goes gone.
Yeah.
So I feel for him. Naturally, every few cycles, there is that one person that just deserves to be there but doesn't stay around for long.
Yeah, for sure. Look, those guys, and it's unfortunate for Ryan because he did miss those events, as we said. He's pretty far down now, and it's looking like a bit of a mountain for him to climb to get back up. Obviously, with an event win, then that'll push him right up there. So, look, hopefully he can make a final or a win. But look, at this stage, it's not looking promising, and look, I do think you can probably chuck a line through all those guys we just mentioned.
But it's not all losses for Ryan if he does drop below. He's about to have his first kick
for sure
any minute now, so pretty exciting time for him. I would say that's at the forefront of his mind, and he'll deal with the cut later. Yeah,
absolutely. That's a bit of a sweetener for him, eh?
Yeah,
Just start a new life as a dad. Do you want to do our fantasy wrap up? You got the results there.
Yep. So in first place we had Crispy. Well done, mate, for taking that one out.
Pretty big score.
That's a huge score. 753, and then second place, Redley is 719. So a bit of daylight between those two. So yeah, Redley in the second place. Bowie 100 in third place. Tractor Trent. That's a fucking great name. In fourth, and Ruv in fifth. So good on you guys. Keep it up. We do have some prizes coming. We just have no idea what.
Yeah.
Probably be a box of Cornettos at this point with the $1, but we'll get there.
It's going to be good. We'll make sure it's good. And then, so that was just the top 5 for Bells. And then we'll run into, so this is your overall rankings, and it's starting to get a little bit interesting. Andy Irvine, or Ballina Blowin, as his username is on Fantasy, he has been hundreds of points ahead the entire time, and it's almost, he's got that little target on his back starting to weigh heavy on him. The gap is closing, and Bowie, who turned in a third place in the standings at Bells, he's still in second.
Yep.
Or he might have even moved up a spot into second, but he's only 25 points behind, or 26 points behind Andy now. So it's getting pretty tight up the top end. West Lizzie in at third, Paul Southern still doing the thing in at fourth, and Smelly Feet in at fifth. So it seems like the same crew are just killing it this year. Yeah. And for anyone wondering, I've moved down to 32nd spot.
And I'm 51st, so fuck yeah.
Just we're really, really not doing too well.
I reckon this is the part where we throw to Xav, have a chat with Xav.
Yep.
And we'll catch up to everyone soon.
Absolutely. We'll chuck that in right now.
Beep. Xavier Huxtable, the giant killer. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Dave. How you doing?
Yeah, good. You've just had a pretty mammoth few weeks down there at home, huh? You must be starting to feel a bit of a come down.
Yeah, definitely. Last couple of days, it's been pretty quiet, just cruising, catching up on some sleep. Nah, it's been good.
Nah, that's the way. So
Been good.
You had to start through the trials for this one, but you've done that before, hey? You've already surfed in this event once before. Is that correct?
Yeah. I got in as a wildcard 2023, and then got second in the trials in 2019, but then someone got injured and snuck a spot in there as well. So yeah, been in a couple times now, so it's been good.
Yeah, perfect. And any big names you have to come across against in the trials to get in there? There's a pretty good pool of talent down your way.
Yeah. No, we got a really good pool of talent. There was in the final, I think it was like me, Tully, Willis, and Carl Wright, who are all amazing surfers. And it gets really tough because they just run it on. It's like a set date, so it doesn't necessarily mean the surf's going to be any good. So usually it's pretty grindy, and we'll just a small winky, and everyone surfs amazing. So yeah, it's kind of just comes down to who's going well on the day, and yeah, thankfully, found a couple and got through.
Yeah, perfect. And
So you get the call, you're in the event, you've won the trials. What's kind of your thought process there? You're fucking going to bed super early and, eating beans and whatnot beforehand, or what's kind of your preheat ritual?
Just kind of depends. I've always just been like, I'd rather be pretty chill and cruisy, and I don't really listen to music or much of that. I just kind of get down there, kind of set a plan or kind of check out the conditions and then go from there, really. Do a little warm up and kind of just hit the water, I guess, amped and ready to go. So, yeah, definitely not. I guess my preheat ritual changes nearly every heat. Same with my stretching and everything. But, yeah, I mean, I just like to kind of be as relaxed as possible and get out there and just, yeah, enjoy my time.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that makes perfect sense because I was going to say it didn't really look like it phased you too much. You were just down there chilling, hanging out with the boys,
Yeah.
watching the boys' heats and cruising. So I think that might be the winning recipe. Just cruise into heats and don't even fucking look at who you got. Just go and bite their ankles, huh?
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, it's definitely a fun way, especially like I guess, surfing against those bigger crew. It can kind of be a bit daunting, especially like Italo and all that. Like, yeah, so it's just kind of like, oh, well, I'm here, might as well just have fun and enjoy it. And yeah, try not to think about it too much and just have fun whilst I'm there.
Well, it's hard not to think about it when you drive to the event site and there's fucking signs up everywhere throughout Torquay and on the road in saying "Go Zave." That's pretty sick, huh?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, that's one of the amazing things, I guess, having a comp in your backyard is the local support you get and everyone getting around you. And yeah, you can definitely feel it. Like, it's such an awesome feeling, and definitely helps motivate you to do well. That's for sure.
Well, we definitely felt it because everyone in the grandstand was fucking jumping and clapping. It felt like you just even turn around and look at the beach and everyone's like, yeah! Like, you probably did a fucking fart in your wetsuit and everyone's like, yeah! Like, fuck, mate. Everyone was just glued to you when you were out there. So it was fucking sick to see the support you had.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I mean, I sometimes I'd look in and yeah, they'd be cheering and I'm like, fuck, is there a set coming or something? But I think I didn't even know what they were cheering at. I wasn't surfing, that's for sure.
Nah,
But
they're
no, it
just
was
happy to get
awesome.
around you. That was
Yeah,
fucking
that's for
awesome.
sure. That was very special, like to kind of feel that support and see like how excited everyone was to see someone who's local doing well. And yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, perfect. So your first heat, you get the fucking big man himself, Italo and Ramsey. How'd you feel going into this one? You put in a pretty good performance in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple times like when nearly on, and then it got called off. Yeah, it was kind of had to wait around a bit for that heat. And I mean, I just kind of same again, just went out with kind of no expectations. I was just kind of sat down with Kale, and we just went, all right, second wave of the set, third wave of the set, look for a clean one, and just go out and have fun. And luckily, yeah, it kind of just came together, and I was able to find kind of one good runner, and then get one at the end to kind of just nudge ahead of Ramsey. I mean, Italo kind of ran away with that one pretty quickly. I don't think anyone was really challenging him in that heat. But yeah, that was amazing. Just to sneak through and avoid that elimination round. I mean, then you kind of get to skip another 3-man heat and go straight into a man-on-man.
For sure, and especially sometimes like you said, the waves were a bit average at times, and the event would go on hold, and maybe not run. So to be ahead of a round would have been fucking way better for you mentally, not having to be half in your wetsuit all the time like many crew were.
Yeah,
Um, Back in that first heat, Ramsey, what the fuck happened there? Did you see it or like?
yeah. Well, we were just chatting because I got the first one of the set and he got the second one, and we rode it to the beach, and it was just kind of like he was asking how I went, and I was like, oh, I was okay, and I was asking how his one was, and he was saying it was all right. So we're just kind of chatting, and I turned around, and there's like if you've been to Bells and it's real low tide, you'll see there's these big boulders or like big rock things on the beach, and I trying to float over the top of them, but sometimes you can get dry docked on them, and I kind of bounced across them, and then I was talking to him, and he was standing up walking across it, and I think he had his back to the waves, and as this wave took his legs out, I think his foot got stuck in a hole, so it kind of pushed him out from underneath, and whilst also having his legs stuck in the hole. And I'm not sure exactly what he did, but it wasn't good. He was screaming, and we had to try and carry him up the beach, and it was pretty grim, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like help was ages away. Like it
Yeah,
looked like you
yeah.
boys were doing all the heavy lifting, like literally the heavy lifting for minutes and minutes. Like I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of trying to we're calling for help, asking, like yelling out, but I guess me and Italo were trying to drag Ramsey, who's not a small guy, out of the water, and it was bloody tough. Like I was slipping over. Italo was trying to hold his knee. He's screaming. We're all just like, holy shit, what's going on? Just trying to sort it out, and thankfully, eventually they got there, and security guard and a couple others helped us pull him out, and they got him in the buggy. But yeah, it definitely took a while. I would have. Yeah, wouldn't have been nice to be him sitting around rolling around in a short break with your knee out.
Were the other boys conversing in like Portuguese or something like 3, 2, 1 lift, and you're just sitting there going, "What the fuck does that mean?" Or was it English? Like
it was in English, thankfully. I didn't say a heap, but Ramsey was yelling. Such a legend. I actually saw him after it as well, and he was in good spirits. Yeah, but yeah, he was just yelling like my knee's broken, and I'm like, fuck, this can't be good. Like, there's just no way this is good. And then he's yelling. Elo's like trying to hold his knee down. I'm trying to rip him out of the water. We were in shambles, that's for sure.
It looked fucking chaotic, but you did
Yeah.
well. It was really good sportsmanship from you.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's like. At the end of the day, everyone's looking out for each other, and that's what it's all about.
That's it. So from there, you skip the elimination round straight into round of 32 with Italo again. What are you feeling when you're paddling out? And he got an 8.5 on you the first heat. Are you just going out, like you said, and just fucking going, I'm going the second wave of the set no matter what, and I'm just going to surf the best I can? Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he obviously waxed us in that first heat, and it was kind of a bit of an eye. I was like, holy shit, this bloke's pretty tapped. He's that good. So I knew I had him. I knew I had him straight away again. So I just kind of went out there, just kind of try and pick those second waves that are clean and just go balls out. I mean, I knew couldn't, if we were surfing together, I just kind of wanted to put on a performance that I was happy with and just kind of not hold back and have fun. And that's what, luckily kind of got that first one, and that kept the ball rolling. And yeah, it went real slow throughout the heat, which made it a bit nervy because I was just waiting for him to get one underneath my prio and just wax me on that. But luckily it didn't happen, and yeah, got one at the end to kind of solidify it.
Fucking smashed it, mate. I think everyone was kind of waiting for your first wave to go, oh, how's he going to deal with the nerves? And you come out fucking swinging. So I feel like from that point onwards, you must have had a bunch of confidence. You know, when you click 3 turns together, you're just like, oh, fuck, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I got that wave, and I was just like, fuck, could only have one opportunity, so I might as well just give it everything. And kind of luckily, it stuck it, put it together nice and cleanly, and that kind of just gave me a heap of confidence to just kind of on the next wave and the waves after, just to kind of push as hard, or if not harder, and kind of have fun with it and just be confident in my surfing that I can do it.
Yeah, perfect. And you fucking did. You sent him packing early.
Yeah, that's what I remember getting to the stairs and I still couldn't believe it. Like, it was definitely took a while to kind of realize, like, fuck, I actually did that. Like, I mean, he's such a good surfer, and I guess part of me didn't even expect to kind of do that. So yeah, it was pretty special.
We saw him later that day in his Ford fucking Ranger pinning it towards the airport, so you scared him.
got him out of town.
Yeah,
No,
he knew that the Jack pub was just gonna fucking erupt, and he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of this town.
I need to get out of here before the Jack pub burns down.
Yes. So straight into round of 16. At this point, let's be honest, are you starting to think like, what am I gonna do with me spending money after this? Because it's a fair chunk, and the US dollar at the moment is fucking so much stronger than us. So surely you're like, yeah, look, I'm going to put it towards my next few events. But is there anything where you're like, fuck, I could probably buy a new set of shoes or a fucking something, surely?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the prize money was definitely going to help with kind of paying for the year ahead with the challenges and stuff. So I was pretty frothing on that. I actually went and got a phone through the week because I needed a new phone.
There
I
you
said
go.
if I made the comp, I need to get a phone. So made it and I got one. So that definitely helped that bit as well.
Did you get
But no,
a Nokia E63 or something, or did you go the iPhone?
I went the iPhone. I had to stick true to myself and get an Apple.
Yeah, nice.
Otherwise, you can't go. Once you got one, you kind of can't go away from it. So, yeah, no, I kind of got through that heat and definitely, kind of promised myself I'd get a phone and whatnot.
Perfect. So in round of 16, you got Griffin. Unfortunately, didn't get through this one, but you must have felt like you fucking won the event. Anyway, you took out Italo. Like, not many crew have done that this year. He's so fucking far ahead of everyone, and you just, you didn't even have to turn up anywhere. You just rolled out of bed and waxed him. Like, that's a win in itself.
Yeah, I mean that was super special. I mean that's what I mean. Look, the round of 16 heat was so slow, and it kind of definitely when I came in felt like there was definitely a bit of a dull to the day, like just not even getting the opportunity. But kind of by the time I got home and like kind of realised what else had happened, and kind of took a step away and realised like holy fuck, I beat Italo. It was kind of like oh shit, like this is actually pretty like crazy, and kind of rolled into the Jack pub and there was a huge crowd there and kind of, got given the owner, who's one of my best mates' dad, went, you can have anything you want on the house. So I kind of just proceeded from there.
Yeah, when I saw you, it was still only early. I swear it was like 6 o'clock, and you were gripping a fucking Bundy rum pretty tightly.
Yeah. I think I drank everything I could under the sun at the pub that day. So
And you even
definitely
did
made the
like a
most
meat
of it.
raffle or something?
Yeah. As soon as I walked in, I had to do the meat raffle, and boys were making me skull beers, and definitely turned it up a notch pretty quickly. That's for sure. From
Fuck
walking through the
me.
door to being blind, it wasn't long.
I would hate to see what would happen if you win the fucking thing. It would have been like Springfield off The Simpsons. They put a big dome over fucking Janjak and just everyone rips in, turns the lights
Just
out.
everyone just shut the doors to the pub, lock it, put the blinds down, and
Oh fuck, mate! Well, it was
no.
such a good event down there. It was great to hang with you. So
Oh,
I'm
you too,
stoked
Zach.
for
It's
you.
great. Thank
Um,
you.
I'm sure we're going to see you again up there on the main stage at some point. But what's up next for you?
Just kind of cruising this week and next week probably, and then I think I'll might try and get up to the Goldie before the Merriweather Challenger Series event, and then kind of go to that, and then it's a pretty busy schedule after that. Kind of got that, and then I'll go to Cruy, and then I'll pretty much fly straight from Cruy to South Africa Challenger, and then home for a tiny bit, and then back to the US for another Challenger Series. So kind of on the road for the next couple months, which should be great. I'm frothing. Got a sick crew kind of doing it this year, and my first year doing it, so I'm frothing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We've spoken to Mikey about the Challenger crew. It sounds like a royally fucking great time to travel with those bunch of blokes, especially you with the Rip Curl team and
Yeah.
Chico and all that,
Oh,
all those boys,
but
Morgs and stuff. So yeah, fuck, it'll be great.
it's gonna be so much fun. We're all such close mates, so it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait, and just hearing all the stories last year, and you just can't wait. So, frothing.
Fucking oath. Well, get another couple Bundy rums into you, mate. And thanks for your time.
Oh, Will, thanks heaps, Zach. Cheers to that.
Finley, Zave, how fucking sick.
It's unreal to hear from him, the giant killer, and an all-round great bloke as well. Friendliest
Mate,
guy.
he is the fucking nicest man there. Like he says in the interview, he's just so fucking easygoing.
Yeah.
He just walks around with a big smile. He's definitely one of the most modest guys down there, and everyone loves him. He could run for fucking the mayor down there, and he'll probably get it.
Yeah, no, and you could see all the lads up in the stands just cheering for him and really wanting the best for him, and getting that win over Italo in front of all your friends and family is pretty special at your home break. So couldn't happen to a better bloke.
Last time I saw him, he was leaning up against the wall, and it was that point where, when you just kind of lean up against someone to have a chat with someone, and it's sweet.
Yeah.
He was at the point where it's like he's actually relying on a bit of support of the wall
to stay upright.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So yeah, good on you, Zave. Well done, mate. Proud of you.
Absolutely. We'll move now into our Gold Coast Pro preview. Zach, you've done the ones and twos on the forecast. How's
Yes,
it looking?
again, like every forecast, please don't kick us in the ass. If this changes, which Bells did, I said it was going to be cooking and it was fucked. But it is only 3 days out from starting, so it's looking pretty promising for the accuracy anyway. Finley, the winds are looking good for the entirety of the event, mostly having south direction in it at times.
Yep.
So southeast to southwest, which is good for Burleigh.
Anything pretty well on the Gold Coast with south in it is going to be...
Cross off.
Yeah, it's going to be clean pretty well.
It's going to be clean.
You can get barreled in pretty much a southeaster up there, or a southerly more so, but it's cross offshore to offshore. So obviously this is an event that's a bit closer to us, so we probably do have a bit better of a read on the conditions compared to other venues. Swell wise though, what's...
Anything on the Gold Coast is susceptible to swell.
Yeah.
It's looking, if I was, up there in the tower making the judgment calls, it's looking like it may not even run for the first couple of days,
Okay.
or it might start and then have a few days off. The back end of the forecast is looking really good.
Yeah.
Again, that side of the accuracy, not sure about because that is 10 days away.
Yep.
More than 10 days away. Although I've got a suspicion that it's going to run pretty well the same format as Bells, how it's just on, hold, on, off, hold, we're off for the day, we're on for a bit, and then just smash it out towards the end.
For sure. The good thing about Burleigh, though, compared to Snapper, is it can pick up a little bit more swell than those other point breaks. It probably faces a little bit closer in direction to Lennox Point, which, as we know, when the swell is south and a bit bigger, it tends to miss Snapper, so everyone comes to Lennox to surf. With Burleigh, you still sort of get a bit of that up there. So it's not as sort of, lacking in a south swell, so it can still pick that up. But you do, obviously, with a lot of the places around here, or pretty much everywhere, you want some east in it. So anything southeast and, anything above like sort of 11 or 12 second period, we don't tend to get those long period swells around here so much.
No, not at all. I think anything that's, double digits is good swell period for us.
Pretty well.
Anything under that is pretty usual.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's definitely going to be a contestable event
For sure.
If it was northerly, you're fucked.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if it's 10 foot or 1 foot. If it's northerly there, you're really in a world of hurt for conditions wise.
Southerly you can work with. So
100%.
It's a good initial indication for us anyway. Do you want to run us through the wildcards?
Yep. Just before that, I just wanted to quickly touch on the locals are pissed at Burleigh.
Oh, true. Okay.
They are pissed.
All
Obviously, this event was not scheduled to be held at Burleigh. The current state of the hill after the ABB is fucking gone. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Splendor 2020. Fuck, what year was that? There's been a few where it's just a fucking mud fest.
If anyone was at Fisher last year, when he did it at the beach at Greenmount, that is pretty well what it looks like, and it's just a swamp essentially.
Yeah. So unfortunately, they only had about 10 days breathing room between the pack down of the ABB and the pack up. So the event set up of the WSL Burleigh Pro or Goldie Pro, whatever the fuck it's called. So they've just had to pretty much throw sand all over it and then put structures on top, which they're not happy about. But the locals aren't happy because, number one, the parking's fucked. It's fucked on a good day. So now that they've got all these, trucks coming in and blocking everything and workers in and around the site, everyone's blown up about parking.
Yeah.
Another thing is the number of events being held there, and these people obviously got. This is going to sound wanky as fuck, but they've got great water view.
Yeah.
And for the last 2 months, there's going to be a structure in front of it.
Yeah.
And people talking from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. There's DJs playing at this event. Like, there's after hours activations. I think they're just getting sick of it. That's from what I've heard from the locals.
Yeah, well, you're paying beachfront rates and you're getting pretty much a metal scaffolding in front of you.
That's it.
So yeah, it's a good point that you make there. Wildcards, who we got coming in?
So in the men's, we've got Cal Robinson. So no stranger to the tour, has obviously done a season or two.
Robson.
Did I say Robinson?
Robinson.
Oh, he can shoot me. He'll forgive me. We're actually almost half related somehow.
Really?
Yeah, correct.
Who? And what way?
On my dad's side,
Yes.
like aunties, goes through the auntie webs. I'll have to go on Ancestry.com. But yeah, Pete Dunk, Cal's coach, goes, oh, you know, man, you're related as well. And I was starting, at that point, I was like, fuck, oh, this is a bit weird. But yeah, so me and Pete Dunk are almost related. And, well, there's ties, family ties. We'll just call it family ties.
Okay.
And same as Cal.
No sort of Game of Thrones business going on over here? Or?
I wasn't alive for it, so I won't say no, but I'm guessing it's all above board and all kosher.
Beautiful. We'll run with that. So, Cal, did you get the Geordie?
Didn't take us away.
Geordie Lawler finds
What do you
himself.
think?
I mean, good on him. He's just been the unfortunate person that seems to miss out consistently on qualifying, and seems in recent times he's maybe pulled up stumps a little bit and isn't chasing it as hard. So good to see him get back in. Whether or not he's going to continue to chase it after this, it gives him that little bit of motivation that he's after.
Yeah, he falls in the same boat as Chippo.
Yep.
Just always in the conversation, always knocking on the door for the tour, but just fall short.
Yeah, no. And I mean, look, it's great to see him there. His backhand's pretty incredible. I wouldn't put a result past him. But he is going to come up against those top seeds straight away. So he's going to have to really dig deep and
Well, Xav did that and fucking flogged him.
For sure. It can be done. And then there is another one that will be sort of decided in a local trials event.
Yeah, I think that'll be a Snapper Rocks
Yep.
Surf Club. Well, not Surf Club, but like a Board Riders Club.
Yep.
I think that's
Event.
where that will go.
Yeah. So it'll be...
So I'm guessing off the top of my head, maybe like a Sheldon Sinkus.
I was thinking the same. Sheldon, they'll probably... I mean, well, they might not be able to run it at Snapper because obvious reasons. There's no sand there.
There is sand in the wrong spots.
Okay.
There's sand behind the rock.
Yep.
So if we get a big fucking southeast swell, which is actually looking likely, we could see a barrel fest.
True.
Behind the rock into nothing.
You can almost like throw your house on Sheldon then if that is the case. He's got a crazy read on that joint. So do not be surprised to see Sheldon Simkus pop his little head up in this event.
Yep.
And then on the ladies, there was a couple of like injury replacements that are already there, like Nadia Aristabe retains her spot and the like. You've got a bone to pick with the WSL wildcard though.
I do. So Stephanie Gilmore has been announced as the local. Well, I don't even know what wildcard she would have got. She
Just WSL wildcard.
Wouldn't have been the Snapper Rocks one.
No.
So this one, I don't know, Finley. From a marketing and business mind, I'll put my business cap on. It's fucking perfect because you're going to get bums on seats and a big name coming back. She's at home. Fuck, you can sell that. You can sell that dream. So I see it.
Yep.
She surfs arguably just as good as she left.
Yep.
So she deserves to be there.
Yep.
I just don't think you can pick and choose. And I say that because I fucking love hanging out with the blokes that we have previously mentioned, going through the Changers, going through the QS. They're fucking doing everything right and still coming short and paying for all this money. Like Morg's just fucking won, 40 fucking grand.
Yeah.
That's going to be zeroed out in 3 months.
For sure.
Just to fucking on a maybe.
Yeah.
So this kind of annoys me.
Yep. I can see exactly where you're coming from. I can see, like, if she wants a wild card, she's going to get one. Like, she's earned it. She's won the event before, probably numerous times. I haven't looked, but I imagine she's won Snapper a number of times. She's an 8-time world champion. She lives there as well, which is going her way. I do see your side of things, though, where, like, I mean, even from Steph's perspective, like she has the ability there to say not take it up because she knows she's going to be back there next year. She's made her living. She's well set up. Like, I don't know, you get one of the local Snapper girls or like someone that's on the Challenger, gives them an opportunity to move up, get a result, or at least earn some prize money to then fund their campaign to hopefully get on there one day.
Oh, it's a platform.
Yeah.
Like for someone like Xav.
Yeah.
Like, how many fucking people around the world now are going to talk about Xav?
For sure.
Morgs.
Yep.
every wild card, there's so much to it. Like, obviously, they can't obtain points.
Yep.
They're not going to really, progress to the next one or talk about the cut or anything like that. But there's so much beneficial aspects behind closed doors that come with it.
For sure.
Sponsorships, I just think I see it on face value, but it'd be great for someone like Steph to just say, like, I'm not going to get much out of this in return.
Yep, definitely.
Look, fuck, she's probably getting Wheatbeak's paying her $1 billion to turn up. I have no idea, but there's just more benefits for someone young and aspiring, in my opinion.
No, I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, look, I don't really have much more to add to that. We'll just now get into our dark horses and winners. Do you want to lead us off with your men's and ladies' dark horse?
Yep. So I've gone Luana Silva.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I was hanging out with her down there and just watching her start and finish and the confidence she built.
Yep.
I just feel like she's walking into this happy as fucking Larry right now. So sometimes that translates into a good result. So just that's my thought process there. This is her best result that she's just come off. So maybe she's just going to keep it going for the Aussie treble.
Yep.
To be honest, if it's 2 to 3 foot, Burley, she's on a forehand. She has a nice style. I just think it could work out really well for her.
Yep.
And my dark horse for the blokes, I've gone Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Exact same reason.
Yep.
He had that incredible heat down there where he did that fucking huge punt, smashed it, and yeah, I just think he's due for a result. Hasn't been talked about much. Not many highlight reels kicking around, and I just think 3 to 4 foot, 2 to 3 foot, 2, 3, 4 foot Burley.
Yep.
That's where my head goes.
Cool. I like it. Mine is, so she's moved pretty much from my winners category to my dark horse now, given the start. I've been so high on her.
Yeah.
Erin Brooks. I think if it is sort of smallish Burley, she got a 10 last year at snapper on her backhand, just packing a big pit behind the rock. Obviously, you're probably not going to have those conditions here. But
yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But I just think like people have sometimes develop a bit of an affinity with a location, and it can result in sort of...
But the location is not even the same.
Just Gold Coast, sunny weather, nice blue water, warm water, like home, I guess, like in Hawaii, wearing probably bikini or whatever they surf in.
All right, we'll go with that.
And I think I think there's a definite like speed differential between her and a lot of the other competitors, which I think could help her here, especially if it's smaller. If it's like 2 to 4 foot range on her back end there, and Burley isn't like snapper where it's perfect. It can have a few more sections to it and race off at times. So I think that could come in handy for her. So I'm happy to chuck her in as a dark horse. The other reason, I really didn't like many of the other picks, to be honest. Like, she was the one that sort of stood out to me down the bottom end of the rankings, or like not bottom, but middle, that sort of could get a result here. So I chucked her in. And then my dark horse bloke is, and I hope this guy just turns in a result here, Liam O'Brien. It's at his home break. Mm-hmm. He bloody rips. He's a great human being. It's all set up for him here to get a really cracking result and just get himself back inside the cut, because he's just outside it. Mm-hmm. I just really want him to do really well here. So fingers crossed for Lob, he can get back in. Now your winners. Who are you thinking?
I'm going Katie.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm doing that is Burley is often, and this is by locals, so no one's going to find this a shock, is often referred to as a glorified closeout.
Yep.
It's fast. It doesn't have that mechanical aspect that snapper all the way to Greenmount does.
Yep.
You'll often find yourself kind of getting one half of the wave and it splits or closes out and there's another half kind of thing. It's hard to connect. So, to my point, it's a fast wave, and I think who's a fast surfer and who is on their forehand landed on Katie Simmers.
Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Can I just jump to something on Katie? At the after party, what are your thoughts on this? And I think I even cooked you for wearing sunglasses inside.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, and to the world's opinion, you wear sunglasses inside when you're like famous, eh? Like fucking Will.i.am at the fucking red carpet.
Sure.
She was inside. It was like 9 p.m. at the pub, Jack Pub, with a hat on, like pulled like a cap hat, pulled right down, and like sunnies on. And like, what do you think of that? It felt to me like she was trying to be like, I'm trying to keep my social status under wraps.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just think it's kind of her look. It doesn't actually surprise me that she's been seen doing that. I also we posted that reel of Katie on our Instagram and on TikTok. It actually did quite well, to the point where Bemmy at the event site was like, "How's that reel of you lads cooking Katie on your Instagram?" And we didn't cook her. Like, we were making an observation, and he said it directly next to her coach, Tommy Whitaker. We don't dislike Katie Simmers at all.
No.
We're actually quite big fans of her. We think she's probably the best female surfer on tour right now. But she's just doing a few weird things recently.
She's just figuring out life, I reckon.
Yeah.
There was actually a conversation about this at the pub, saying she's famous, right?
Yeah.
But just not star.
That famous.
That's kind of star level stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe leave that to Will.i.am and Will Smith and that kind of Katy Perry crew.
Yeah.
Maybe like if you're going to talk about sports people like LeBron or something, he can do that. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Okay. Yeah. Katie, if you're out there, we're fans of yours, so don't think we hate you.
Yeah. We definitely don't hate you.
Your bloke.
Who did I go? I'm going Griff.
Nice. He's back. Griff's back.
He is back. Yeah. Again, just due. He's had a weird year. Not a year that he would be thinking, right at this point, how did I fucking get here?
Yeah.
From being in the final five, twice? 2 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
To not even being in the conversation yet.
Yep.
He's definitely due. He deserves it. And yeah, Bells, for me, he just kind of found a bit of a groove. So I feel like for all my picks, it's just who was grooving in Australia.
Yeah.
And obviously the Aussies were. But for anyone else, it's who's kind of gelling. Because there's so many factors that outside of surfing that can dictate your result here.
Yep. And
I went with Griff.
Griffin's grooving in the right direction.
He is.
He as well, like we kept saying throughout the year, and we were only just willing to accept him as a dark horse pick if he didn't do well at Bells, because I nearly picked him, and I was like, it's probably a bit soon for a dark horse sort of wrap on Griff. But he's moved up 12 spots into 14th, so pretty much safe as houses here. I just think he's going to go onwards and upwards, so it's a great pick. My ladies winner is the wild card, Steph. I just think she wins, and I don't really... Moneybags.
I'll bet you 20 fucking bucks on camera right now she doesn't win.
Yeah, but that's a crazy bet for me to make, because you're backing the field. I'm backing one person. You're backing everyone except Steph.
I've just run the calculations, and you're correct. Yes.
It's an awful bet for me to accept. Here's what I'll do though. I'm going to throw some...
20 bucks.
I'm going to throw 20 bucks onto an unnamed sports wagering site on Steph.
You can name it, but we'll send him an invoice.
I'm not... No free shout-outs here.
No, fuck him.
So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put 20 bucks in her. She'll be paying about $1.30. So I'll make about $6 on my investment. But I'm happy to do it. So
I'm almost... Okay. Sweeten it. I reckon she won't get out of elimination round.
No. Elimination round?
Yeah.
Oh, money in the bank. Yeah. Don't give it to me now. Give it to me next week on camera. You don't think Steph, 8-time world champion, is going to get out of the elimination round? That's a crazy bet to make. You've just made two of the most insane bets I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm doing it. But surely that means the return's higher on my end. I get 40 bucks.
Mate, I'll give you $100 on camera if she doesn't progress out of the elimination round.
Yep.
Are you happy with that?
100.
All right,
yep.
sick.
Let's do it.
All right, I've never been more confident in a bet in my life. So
I'm just going to put this 20 here for next week's episode. That's my stake. And for next week's episode, because it probably won't be done, the event won't be done, I'm expecting to see either a Benji or 2 pineapples.
Beautiful. That's fine. I'll come in prepared with...
And your bloke.
My guy, and this probably could pay off actually won't. It won't even come close to the amount of money this bloke cost me on multis recently. Philippe. I'm jumping off the bandwagon. 2.0. Philippe 2.0. if he doesn't do well here, like I've picked him as a winner, but like if he doesn't make sort of like a quarter onwards, I'm just jumping off. I can't back him any further.
Yep. You got to jump from the ship before it sinks.
Yeah, and I'm willing to be on this event.
It's okay to be on the ship while it's leaking.
Yeah.
But when the cracks become bigger, you got to jump ship.
I'm staying strong with Philippe here, and I'm going to pick him as my winner for this event purely just because, like you said before, Burley, it is at times a glorified closeout, and who makes glorified closeouts look really good? Philippe. So
does a lot of people.
Yeah, but I'm just backing him in. I think he's going to win.
Right.
We'll go to our fantasy teams. Have you got yours handy?
I do. I'll rattle through it very quickly. And it was... Do you have yours handy?
I do, but just do yours. Mine's just chilling here. I'm pretty confident with mine.
I've got Dodo internet.
I'll do mine.
I'm good.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I've gone in my women's. Mm-hmm. Katie Simmers ×2.
Right.
Luana Silva, Sawyer Lindblad, Stephanie Gilmore.
Oh, you picked her, have you?
I have.
Oh, brilliant.
So this was before the $20 stake.
Right.
So, on camera, tier C, I am going, half of them are out already.
Yeah, you're watching the undoing. Like, he's already gone, but you're watching the undoing of Zach.
Fuck. I'm going to go Betty Lou.
Okay.
Tell you who I won't be picking.
Who? Can I guess?
Guess.
It's just going to seem like a write-off. Nadia Aristabe?
Oh, no, I wasn't picking her anyway. But Sally Fitzgibbons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, that's a no-go. Okay, so for my women's, that was Katie, Luana, Sawyer, and Betty. What about yours?
And your ×2 was on Katie.
Correct.
My ladies is Gabby, Isabella, Erin Brooks, Steph Gilmore. ×2 on... I'm going to chuck it on Steph. Just to annoy you and just to double down on my bet.
Okay.
Are
you going to... So... Bella has gone second at El Sal.
Yep.
First at Bell's, and you've backed her again.
Steph.
Sorry, Bella. I said Bella.
I'm backing Steph.
Yeah, but Bella's in there.
Yeah, she's in my team.
Yeah.
So, what's El Salvador right-hander? What's Bell's right-hander? Burley, right-hander.
Okay, I'm just saying. Yep.
Thank you.
Men's. I've gone Ethan Ewing, Leonardo Fioravanti.
Okay.
Then I've gone... You're going to love this. I've gone Philippe.
Great, sure.
I've gone Philippe.
Yeah.
And I've gone Jackson Bunch, Connor O'Leary, Rio Wada.
Nice.
Sammy Pupo ×10. ×2.
You put your ×2 on Sammy.
If I could make it fucking ×10, I'd put it ×10.
I don't hate it. He's in my team too, but I'm not throwing ×2 on him.
And finishing off with Crosby Colabinto.
Cool. Pretty similar. Ethan Ewing ×2. Italo Ferreira. Then I've gone tier B, Philippe, Griffin, Rio, Lobby. And then tier C, Crosby, Sam. So just pretty similar. But yeah, that's our fantasy teams. Hopefully we can start to regain a little bit of credibility because people are going to stop listening to our opinions soon. But yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it in our fantasy teams. Good luck to everyone out there who's in the league. Yeah, it's really the multiplier. Say it again.
Yep.
It's another 0.1 higher, so you're still in the mix. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks.
Anyone who is going to the event, make sure you get there now to get a car park because it will be fucking horrendous.
Yeah. Set up a tent on the mud.
Pretty much.
But yeah, thanks for listening again, guys.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Adios.